About a short dressed man.
You know, I always park my truck over in the shade so it stays cooler. Don't step in the mud. So I appreciate you guys tuning in this month. We got some very exciting things. We've got the 54 Bel Air. You remember the blue car? Well, we've painted the car. I'm going to show that to you today. We're working on a 69 Camaro that got dropped off, I think, about a week ago. Now, we're probably going to try to finish that car before the next episode. Hopefully, you'll get to see it completed. But the 54 Bel Air really looks slick. My daughter and Mandy have been working on our next charity. So what we've done is we've reached out and found us another charity, a charity that we can get behind and support, and that's
Fighting for Dawn.
Fighting for Dawn. So if you think about how in the world are we going to support a charity? Well, my wife and my daughter have come up with an idea of a T-shirt, a T-shirt that represents Fighting for Dawn and the shop, and we'll show you those T-shirts a little bit later. But I think for now we'll go to the shop, take a look at the 54 Bel Air, and take a look at the Camaro and possibly the T-shirt. Sound like a plan? Let's go back to the shop. Don't step in the mud. I think that last month we was talking about this car. She had brought it back, but I had her bring it back. We delivered it a couple of weeks ago. I had her bring it back to show the finished product. The Bel Air's been an ongoing project, one that, man, I'm just so thrilled to be involved with, and it's finally come to completion. If you remember early on in some episodes we talked about the car, it was blue, and I told you if I had my way we're going satin black. Well, we did. What we wanted to do with this car was we wanted to make this car look and have the feel of a car that was done in the 50s. Now, what you got to think about is this. I've brought you through in past episodes what a hot rod is, what a resto mod is. But there's something called a hot rod that people have misnomers about. The hot rod started not long after World War II, and what a hot rod was cars that was either handed down to somebody or purchased for little to no money. They wanted the car, of course, to be fast, but as the hot rod evolved, they started to want it to look cool. Not only did it need to be fast, so somewhere in the early to mid 50s, looking cool became a thing. A lot of times the cars were painted with a satin color. Now, it wasn't satin paint that they used, it was primers. Now, primers you could tint and get any color. Mostly you've seen grays, blacks, and an orangish red. Now, this car happens to be black. Now, what I do here at the shop is I actually flatten paint. So this is full urethane paint. It's a very durable paint. So what I did to the car was I painted the entire car satin black. Now, did we want a high gloss, slick finish on that car? Absolutely not, because in 1955 or 56, it wouldn't have been the case on that car. This would have been a guy working in the garage, doing it himself, making things happen. One week they may roll out, or 1 month they may roll out with a car that's built and runs great, painted satin black. They would eventually go back to their shop and add some flames, and that's what we did. So we kind of made this car look like it's under construction, but it still looks cool and is somewhat finished. So we added flames. Now the flames have gloss on top of them. Also, we had Chaston outline the flames. Now all the outline is done with a brush. The flames kind of tie in the interior with the exterior of the car. Chasten did a fantastic job pinstriping the car with the colors, tying, here again, some more colors into the interior of the car. Now, what we tried to do on that car was hit period correct. I guess that's the right way to say it, period correct. That make it look like a hot rod that the guys or gals would have been building back in the mid to late 50s. Also on this car, what we did was we gave it another step. We painted the top of the car gloss black. So they had the car, they sat in the car out, they drove it a month or two, they came back in their shop, they added some flames, they drove it a month or two, they came back and they glossed out the top. We did a satin finish on the bumpers and the grill. Now, that finish on the bumper and grill is not something that you just go spray. It's like this. We sprayed a satin silver color on that car, then I burnished it with Scotch-Brite. So I actually wore that paint out. Made it look like it's been painted 25 years, and that's what we wanted to do with this car. On the back of the car, you can see some of Chasten's pinstriping. All this is done with a brush. We recently put new glass in the back of that car. We did a left rear side window, and we did the back glass. Now, you think, well, that's no big deal to put glass in a car. Well, think about this. The top has been chopped, so that means we had to cut the glass. And when it comes to cutting glass, we have the finest. And I've been using this guy for, God, probably 8 or 10 years. He's never nicked, scratched, or tore up a car. It's crystal clear glass. Jeremy, he's become a good friend and somebody I can really trust and count on when it comes to taking care of my old car's windows. Another cool feature to the car is this. If you remember, the car was blue. The car was dark blue. We left the door jambs in the car dark blue. Now what we did was we tied the outside together with the inside. You remember the door poppers? The outside of the car used to be dark blue. We left the door jambs dark blue, and if you'll notice, we used that blue in the flames. I do so much research, and I try to educate the car owner on how the cars looked. I have read so many books, I've studied so much on the internet. You know, some of my favorite builders like George Barris, you know, those were all lacquer paints. The true depth and high gloss stuff that you see today, it didn't exist back then. Those were hand-rubbed coats of lacquer. Yeah, they looked rich and they looked deep for a short period of time. So trying to hit it and trying to hit the mark we're aiming for, the look and feel of a car, and educate my customer on that particular car, in that particular case, she kind of gave me artistic freedom. Also, we had Chasten come inside on the dash and pinstripe the dash with the blue from the outside and the yellow from the flames on the dash of the car. So it kind of ties the car together, gives it a finished but yet an unfinished feel to the car. She did tell me this. She wanted the flames to be dark blue like the interior and faded to yellow. So any, you know, blues, and I went to orange, and then I tipped it in yellow. Now that is traditional colors for flames. And the blue that she wanted to use was the interior blue, which is a great idea on her part. I'll be honest with you, I thought it was a mistake putting that much blue in the flames, but I think it looks great. All in all, I think this is a really cool project, a really cool build. And I think the look of the car pretty much nails it from the mid to late 50s. Finished, but not finished too much.
About a shotgun man.
I can't believe this. Stanley, what's with all the cans, man? We had the shop spotless for the tea.
I got thirsty. That's what happens when you work hard. You get thirsty. And the bottles wasn't doing any good, so I went to the cans to support my kids' college list fund.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with Stanley. His work has not dropped off. I did bust his chops on holding this big 2-liter bottle, and I don't know what he thinks he's doing. You know, used to it was 1 cigarette, 2 fingers, no big deal. I didn't mind it. I busted his chops about the big 2-liter bottle, and then this morning we had the shop spotless, ready for the TV show. we don't want dirt and debris on the floor. It does get dirty out there. I walk out there just after lunch and there's 45 cans of Mountain Dew crushed on the floor. So what are you going to do with all the cans?
Put them in a bucket.
Recycle them?
Yep.
See, environmental friendly here at Campbell's. We're going to recycle all of Stanley's Mountain Dew cans.
Think green.
I think he's trying to get back at me for something. I didn't tell him to quit smoking. But I don't know what he's trying to prove with these cans everywhere. But as long as the work gets done and the quality is still there, that's all I really care about. So what do you got going on this morning?
Just sanding the rust
Stanley, it's
out.
only lunchtime and you've drank all those Mountain Dews?
I told you I was thirsty.
God, man. There's an unopened bottle you haven't even opened. That's next in line?
Yep. This one's an energy drink. First one of these I've had. Got it because it's a bigger can. More money in recycles.
Stanley's working on the 72, the Chevy truck, and that's a big project. It'll be here quite a while. He's doing some rust repairs, some cutting and some welding, trying to get everything that's possibly, the smallest pinhole of rust has got to be nipped in the bud or it'll come back. So what he's doing is he's stripping it with a wire wheel. We have a chemical that we use similar to what the Navy uses that will treat that rust, kill it, put an end to it. We'll cut out the bad spots. Even if you can't see it with the naked eye, this chemical we use makes it show up. It shows up pure black. So he'll treat that with that chemical. Tomorrow morning he'll come back in. If there's any black spots, he'll cut those out and we'll move on.
I'm wire brushing a lot of the rust off of the cab and finding more rust in the cab joints and places where the roof's put together.
So what are we going to do? We got a patch panel we're going to put in up there?
We're going to make a patch panel and put in there.
Something Stanley was talking about earlier today, what we're thinking about doing, this truck's going air conditioned. If you remember, or if you know anything about older vehicles, a lot of times when you slam the door, it sounds like a can. What we're thinking about doing is actually filling this cavity with foam. Me and Stanley were discussing that this morning. I need to make a call to the truck owner, make sure he's on board with that. That truck may be here another 6 or 8 months. Yeah, that's a big project. Well, let's go take a look at the Camaro and see what the guys are working on here. This is a 69 Camaro. Now, we just started this job this week, and this job actually started out as just a paint job. The cool thing about this car, and I encourage all my car owners, everybody we're working for, to be involved in their car as much as they want to be. Now, granted, some people just drop off a vehicle and give me a list of stuff to do to it. Now, this car owner kind of falls in the middle. The 72 truck, you remember me telling you, the guy showed up with a truckload of parts that he had been buying. This car is kind of in the middle of that. Let me give you a little history behind this 69 Camaro. The guy has owned it for 16 years. He bought the car from a family who previously, the car owner had died in a car accident. He liked to never got the car bought. They sat on the car for years. I think it was either in their basement or in a garage. Eventually he convinced them that sell him the car, he would put it the way it was supposed to be. He would build that car in memory of that person passing over probably 20 years ago. This guy has already done everything under the hood. He's already built his motor, his transmission. So he's got this car running and driving the way he wants it. He basically dropped it off to us to take care of everything that's outside the hood. Doing all the paint and body work on the car. We're going back to the original color, which is a Le Mans blue, and we're also going to put rally stripes down the hood. You can see a few marks here where the car owner was actually here this morning and we was talking about how we're going to lay out the stripes. What you'll notice on the car is Omar is going around right now blocking it out. We've already done all the heavy body work. He's going around blocking out the car, and any small imperfection he's marking with a piece of tape. And these are minor imperfections. But anyway, he's marking them all with a piece of tape, and he'll go back and address those individually. The bad thing is he bought the paint about 4 years ago, not knowing this, that I won't spray anybody else's paint. And that paint does go bad. It has a shelf life. So bless his heart, he bought paint we can't use. But all in all, he's done fantastic on putting this car together, getting it to this point. All in all, this is a pretty nice project. We're going to paint the car, we're going to dye the top, and we're also sending the interior out to have the interior redone while the car's here. And today, the owner let me know that he's going to bring us brand new bumpers the first of next week, so we'll fit brand new bumpers to the car. If everything goes well, you'll see it on next month's episode. and it should either be completed or right there at completion. But all in all, that's a really neat project and a neat story behind the car. And maybe we'll get that car over here for the next episode.
Here we go, crazy about a shot-ass man.
I wanted to take you guys for a ride in this car today, and the reason is this, is it is a 1954. It looks old, it looks cool. To me, it looks like it was built in 1950, but just so you know, it's all modern under the hood. Got tilt steering, automatic transmission. It's cool stuff. Let's go take it for a spin, see how it rides. When we do so much wrench spinning on a car, and there was a lot of wrenches spun on that car, we touched everything on that car, from the suspension to motor, transmission, speedometer, paint and body. I road test every car, and in fact, I'm going to drive that car home tonight. It's chopped, so it feels kind of claustrophobic in here if you're not used to it, you know. But you know, the car runs and drives so smooth. This is a good daily driver. I wouldn't hesitate to drive this car on a nice road trip, or even make it a daily driver to and from work. But when we do that much work to a car, yes, I do put some miles on it, because I need to know that when I hand you the keys, that car is problem free. Now, being as that car was an older build, it was refreshing. There was some issues with that car that we've had to resolve. And it takes putting a few miles on one. I've probably put 35 or 40 miles on that car. And in fact, I went to the lady's house last night that owns that car and picked it up and brought it in here today. And there ain't nothing I'd rather do than ride around an old hot rod. Pretty sweet ride, huh? Yeah, I love that car. If you guys know anything about me, I like to give back. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I really do like to give back. You know, if you remember Warrior Golf Camps of America, we did a lot of projects for those folks probably 10 or 11 months ago. Now, we still support them, but as far as our projects go, they just really don't need us right now. So what we've decided to do is, you guys know I'm a dog guy. We got Wendy, the head of security. She keeps everybody in line in the back. We've chosen a dog rescue to support. Now you think about it, how can a body shop support a dog rescue? Well, it's easy. Let me tell you how. Now granted, we've got Wendy, head of security, so we're dog people. Well, check this out. This is what we've done. We've designed a t-shirt. Now the name of the rescue is Fighting for Dawn, and this is their logo. You guys can find them on the internet at fightingfordawn.com. Of course, they've got a great Facebook page. So what we've done is we've made a t-shirt, Fighting for Dawn and Campbell's Customs. And on the front, we put the TV show, Hot Rods and Rust, Campbell's Customs, SCB TV channel 182. And what we're going to do is this. Campbell's Customs is going to cover the cost of the t-shirt. In other words, we're going to buy the t-shirt. We're going to sell the t-shirt. You can come to the shop, you can buy a t-shirt. You can find them on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook, you can order your t-shirt. And I'm thinking the TV station as well. Get a hold of the TV station. It's another way to find the t-shirt. And what we're going to do is we're going to sell this t-shirt for $14. And all of the profit from this t-shirt is going to that charity. So that's how a body shop can give back. And the TV show, you know. You think about some of the, you hear about it all the time. I mean, now not to belittle anything else, but dogs get left in cars. It's not a good thing. You know, dogs get kicked to the curb. It's amazing that, you know, having a dog is a responsibility. Yeah, granted, they're a great pleasure. My dog helps me get through so many things, like late nights at work, she's always here. Help finishing my dinner, she's always there, you know. But people don't, I don't think they really realize that when they get a puppy, what kind of responsibility it is. And a lot of these dogs are thrown to the wayside. And hopefully, I know it's a small part, but it's something we can do, is to give back, maybe help correct some of those wrongs. But you guys find Fighting for Dawn on Facebook, and find them on the internet. I think it's a charity well worthwhile. And I will tell you this, the people that run the charity, they don't make a dime. And it's a full-time job. They do it just for the love of those animals.